Hello, everybody. On tonight's episode of Backseat Quarterbacks, I am joined by Darren. And yes, he is back from a week-long Italian vacation. And if we hit our bets this week, he is going to be going back to Italy with all of us, his entire family, our entire families, and you, the listener, on a 3-month-long Italian extravaganza from tip to tip. And we're going on the coast, and to Monaco, and the rest of Western Europe, and Eastern Europe if you want, but not needed. That's optional. That's a 4th month optional. Anyways, Greg is back. Welcome back, Greg. Your PTO was well used. You won the week. You're pulling ahead of both of us, Darren and I. That goes without saying, so because I'm in 3rd place. And anyways, it's a great week of football. We are going to talk about all these games, some more than others. And this sports weekend is one for the books, especially Saturday. We got all the sports: college football, college basketball, NFL football. Jake Paul's fighting. Can you believe that? You guys ready for that? The event of the year, some say. But without further ado, here is the man from San Juan, Darren, and the boy from the Amalfi Coast, Greg. How you guys doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Greg? How are you doing over there?
I'm doing good. I missed you guys. I'm glad to be back in the home studio here, not using weird equipment in a weird hotel room. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this week. We've got some interesting games and we got some garbage games. We're at that point in the year. But yeah, I think we all survived last week. It was a very NFL set of games that we gambled on. And, what's up, Sterling?
You say survive. I'm saying barely survive.
No, I mean, yeah, there was some, I don't know why I put any money on the Seahawks, 13.5. I mean, it's easy in hindsight, but that's like a classic trap game. I should be smart enough to see that, and I didn't. And
I'm trying to see if I have any of these losing tickets over here. If I have any of those, where it's at 21.5 or maybe 27.5. I don't know. Well, we have another opportunity with the Monday night game, the final game before Christmas, actually,
yes,
where it is the Colts and the 49ers, where I will do the same thing as last time. And we actually have better opportunities because they're only 6.5-point favorites. So if you want to do 21.5 this time, you get the same price as 27.5 when you had the Seahawks. So look at that. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Phillip Rivers, I'm going to be basically one of your 12 kids. You're going to have to adopt me because I'm going to be very broke if you don't let them win. Well, Greg, welcome back. Darren, happy you're here as always. You continue to be just a rock of Gibraltar.
It's what I try to do. I try to show in, do my job, get out of here.
If you were a diamond, I'd be looking to pawn you if I if I lose these Christmas bets. Anyways, welcome to both of you, and let's do the housekeeping. I said earlier, Greg, you won last week. You went 10-6. Darren 7-9. I went 8-8. The records as followed. Greg, you're leading the house. You're up 12 games over 500, 116, 104, and 2. Darren, you're 112 and 108, so 4 games over 500, or yeah, whatever that equals out to. Yeah, you're 4 games up on Darren, and you're 5 games up on me, Greg. And best bets, you also won that. You're the only person to win the best bet last week, Greg. So you had the banner week. I mean, we should play the Italian national anthem for you. Is what we should do. We should all sit in silence for about 3 minutes while we let that thing roll.
I can certainly pull that up if you would like.
Isn't it just when the moon hits your eye, like isn't that the Italian? But we could just talk ball. Let's just get right into it. Thursday night football. Your Seahawks, the aforementioned team that almost took my my roof from over my head by almost losing that game to 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, playing the LA Rams in a rematch of a game that came down to the final second with a wasn't it a missed Jason Myers field goal that was 65 yards in LA from a few weeks ago. They're 1.5 point home underdogs. The theme of this week is home dogs. 10 home underdogs this week out of 16 possible games. That might be a record. I feel like that might be a record. And the first one is the Seahawks. They're plus 1.5 in Seattle. The NFL's weird because this line makes no sense. You just saw Seattle play a complete struggle of a game against a 44-year-old quarterback who hasn't played in 5 years. Again, hilarious. It was actually funny that Phillip Rivers looked better than a lot of people that play week in and week out against probably one of the, not probably, a top 3 defense in the league. And you have them only as a 1.5 point underdog against the quarterback who is the favorite to win the MVP. Should be even more of a favorite because now you have Josh Allen coming on the heels now at 6-1, and people are trying to make a media narrative of him being the favorite or should be favorite. It's Matt Stafford should be the favorite, and I kind of want to take the Seahawks here because that's how weird the league is, and that's how this season has been. And Thursday Night Football, you never know what's going to happen. Unfortunately, I have a bad taste in my mouth of Bird because of what the Seahawks did to me in that game. And I don't even want to talk about Sam Darnold in any positive light. I've been too high on him throughout the season. I even said he was better than Mahomes at one point this year. We didn't put Josh Allen in our top 5 quarterbacks. We said he's just on the outside looking in because of Sam Darnold. We put Darnold in our top 5. Darren and I did in that podcast a few weeks ago. Sam Darnold, you can go to hell. That's what you can do. Guess what? You're getting coal in your stocking, and it's not even real coal. We're giving you plushy coal. You're getting plushy coal because real coal, that's what we use to move this economy. That's what we put in locomotives, okay? We're not going to waste this economy on you. We're going to give you plushy coal. It's going to have some like beanbag type material in it. Yep, there you go. We're not giving them that. We're not giving them that. We're not giving them that mineral, that beautiful mineral that makes this economy go round. We're giving them some nonsense. We might give them some bark, whatever, beauty bark, you can have that. So I'm going with the Rams minus 1.5. They're going to get this done. I think it's going to be a good game, though. I honestly think it's going to come down to the final, who has the final possession. JSN is a cheat code. And this is probably the only game where Puka will not be the best receiver because I do think JSN's the best receiver in football. And that's kind of, we're going to see a good game here. No Devontae Adams, I don't think. So, yeah. Greg, what say you? Your Seahawks. I know you're pretty upset with their outing against the Colts. So be surprised.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those victories that feels like so filthy and wrong that you kind of feel guilty that we won the game. Like I actually would have felt better about the Seahawks had we just lost the game and just got blown out by Phillip Rivers rather than going and letting him embarrass us. I was really disappointed with the defense. And whatever the plan was, quote unquote, that they had against Phillip Rivers, I didn't see Phillip get pressured at all. Now, I know that offensive line is amazing and, but he even fell down at one point and nobody got on him. Like he got back up. I think he completed a pass or got rid of it or at least got on the ball. I forget what happened exactly, but the entire game was like, they had just completely overlooked this opponent. Clearly, the offense had nothing, and that's my real worry with this team. I think the defense is great; they'll come back, but offensively, they are so one-dimensional. It's JSN. There's no run game. Kenneth Walker has just been non-existent, and you can't win in the playoffs without a run game, and that's what LA's got. They've got the run game. They've got Puka Nacua. They've got, up until last week, Devontae Adams. Colby Parkinson is coming on, great tight end. I mean, they are really a team to be feared and a team. The defense is, up and down. Obviously, they got a little bit exposed by Detroit last week, but they'll keep you in the game enough that you can still win. I am taking the LA Rams minus 4.5 here. I think it will be a good game, like you said, Sterling. But for the Seahawks, in this spot, I don't have faith that these big games are for Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold is a regular season, regular game type guy. When we get late in the season, we've seen this before, he wilts. He wilts under pressure. The Seahawks also haven't been that great at home. And I don't know what's going on with that, but the home field advantage has just been kind of waning in the last
Neutralized.
couple of years. What's that?
It's been neutralized, it
Yeah,
feels
it
like.
really has. And there's more and more out of town fans getting tickets somehow. I don't know what's going on there, but it's almost like the Seattle Seahawks have outpriced their own home base. And yeah, I don't know. Darren, what do you think, man? But yeah, Rams.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. I would have, you know, liked to see the Seahawks manhandle the Colts a little bit last week with Phillip Rivers. Again, I didn't really get to watch that game, but again, if I was going into that game, you'd have to say your game plan is just you have to blitz Phillip Rivers extremely aggressively. Even if you're not getting sacks, as long as you're getting quarterback hits and knockdowns. Like, this is somebody who hasn't been hit in what, 4 5 years, like almost 5 full years, like 5 calendar years. So I think that it is a little bit of a disservice that they didn't do that, from what you're saying. And um, I definitely think last week was a look ahead spot for Seattle. They have a huge game, on Thursday night. It's a short week against a big divisional opponent. Essentially, kind of it's for the division, more or less, depending on what San Francisco does the rest of the way and how the rest of the season shakes out. But this is a huge game, and I think that they might have just been caught looking ahead a little bit. I'm going to take Seattle at home here. The only thing that gives me a little bit of pause is that Sam Darnold, hey, are you going to handle a big game? Are you going to finally win a game that is, important? It's a standalone, it's a spotlight game. So we'll see. I think Seattle's defense is really good. I think them not having Devontae Adams is going to be big as well. But I'm excited for this game. I hope that it's as good as the first one. The first game was really good as well.
Some of these games lately, I've been thinking Sam Darnold's trying to be cast in the reshoot of I Am Sam instead of Sean Penn.
Brutal.
That was good, wasn't it? Alexa, you like that one.
That's brutal.
I heard you laugh at that.
Everybody liked that one, Sterling. We just can't
That's a
admit
good
to
one.
Good
They're
one.
laughing too. Anyways, yeah, okay. I get you're on the Seahawks, Darren. These are good teams. I actually want Sam Darnold to be good. We put him in way too high of rankings to falter here. Show us something, Sam. Okay. Saturday football. We have Saturday games now. They're competing with the college football playoff, which is something that I'm happy about. It used to be a big faux pas. The NFL said we're not gonna stomp on the college football schedule. And over the last couple of years, Goodell says, you know what? We're stomping on everything. Christmas NBA, college football playoff. We're having the NFL take over everything, and I like it because the NFL is king. And if I was another sport, I would not be happy about this because they get thrashed in the ratings. I don't think there's many things that can outdraw NFL games. So there's 2 college football playoff games on. Let's see what they do compared to these NFL ratings because I know what I'm going to be watching. I'm going to have a screen with the college football playoff on, but it's going to be on the iPad. On the screen, on the TV, will be the Bears-Packers, and that is for damn sure. The Bears, another home dog, plus 1.5 against Green Bay. Green Bay just absolutely riddled with injuries from that game in Detroit, and none of them lung-related. Everybody's still breathing from that mile-high air, but a lot of bad knees. Christian Watson, Darren, you were down on him, scared that it was a collarbone. It turns out to be nothing. I think he's going to play this week, which is also, we talked about how if you get carted off and you need to be suspended.
He did walk off. I'll defend him. He walked off on his own.
It wasn't a leg injury though, so I think if you act like you get X-rays and then you get ruled out and all that, I'm saying it should be the same punishment for Christian Watson. I'm just saying, I think you might need to miss this game by moral compass standards. However, I think he's going to play because he doesn't live by our rules. He makes his own. I've seen a lot of the Bears this year. They looked so good in the game against the Browns, but I have one thing to say, and one thing only. That's the Browns, this is the Packers. That game that they played a few weeks ago against the Packers is going to be looked at a lot and saying, whoa, that was a 1-touchdown game. That was a 1-touchdown game because the refs decided to make it a 1-touchdown game. That's the only reason. The Packers controlled that game from the opening kickoff. That was an absolute masterclass by LaFleur for most of it. And I think they're going to take care of business here too. I think it's an outmatched, and outclassed game for the Packers over the Bears. The Bears are just a tier below, and I know it's a road game. It's a who's your daddy type environment for the Packers. They're a way better team, and they're going to do it, even though they're hurt. I do think that Caleb will probably have another good statistical game because he's fine. He's a fine QB, and I don't think the Packers defense is getting much pressure these days. But I'm pretty much in on the Packers being able to beat the bad teams in big moments like this. I think where they're going to struggle is against a team that can match up well against them, like the Rams or an Eagles in the playoffs, who's probably going to run all over them if they matched up. So give me the Packers here. I think they win this pretty easily. Greg?
Yeah, I'm taking the Pack as well, minus the 1.
1.5.
Oh, 1.5. Okay, thank you.
But yeah.
I'll still take the 1.5. I think this is kind of a rally the troops kind of game for them, especially against Chicago, in Chicago. Clearly you lost the leader of the defense, and a huge loss, but I still think that that's a good unit on that side. I think it's just as decent as the Chicago Bears are putting out. And one thing you got to remember with the Chicago Bears is they are the most turnover lucky team in the NFL right now. And that is due for regression at some point. I'm not saying it happens this week, but it's not going to continue on forever. And in a game like this, where the margins are going to be, I think, pretty thin, that could come to a head where finally the luck runs out. Caleb throws a couple picks, or there's a couple fumbles recovered, for the Packers. I just think at some point you can't be lucky forever. And I really like what I've seen out of Jordan Love last couple weeks. Toyotathon is on, and he's showing up again, and it's fantastic. I love seeing this version of Jordan Love that we get later in the year. And I just think that they match up well. There's clearly a personal grudge between LaFleur and Ben Johnson, which I love having. And I think LaFleur's, the more seasoned coach, and I think he's able to handle these moments maybe with a little more foresight. So I think the Packers, I like this spot for them where you got the back against the wall a little bit. They know how to fight, and they're going to go in there and give it. They're all in Soldier Field. So yeah, I really like them in this game. Darren, what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I'm on the Packers in this spot as well. I know they lost Micah. That's huge to the team. You can't act like that's not super important. But I know some other injuries that were a little bit less covered is their starting tackle didn't finish the game. Zach Tom was out, and then their starting strong safety Evan Williams also didn't finish the game. And he's not necessarily as much of like a ball hawk as he is as he
Get on with it. We're doing a podcast. It's so funny. Your team's struggling. Your team just lost to the Broncos. It was very funny. I was laughing too. I had money on the Packers. Keep going.
Yeah, so Evan Williams, he's not as much of a ball hawk as he is. He can come down. He's a really physical tackler, and he does help out in the run game a lot, which I think is super important, especially against the Bears, who have been running the football pretty well. I don't know if he's going to play or not. He did not practice today. Neither did Zach Tom. Neither did a long list of people. Neither did Dontavian Wicks. Christian Watson also didn't practice today as well. So the game's on Saturday, so they get one less day of rest. I'm going to hope that they can turn it around. But, I mean, even if they can't, I think that this is a game where I wholeheartedly trust Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur as a better duo than Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. I just think that I just think that they're better. And I think that in games like this, it's not necessarily about, who and everything. I think it's about the overall team, and I think the quarterback position is super important in these games. So I'm gonna take the Packers here. Still have faith.
We're all on the Packers. Next game, it's Philly at Washington. Washington and Philly played 2 out of the next 3 weeks. I'm pretty sure the NFL anticipated a better Washington team and probably a better Philly team when they were like, we're going to put this on Saturday. Because this is one that I don't have much interest in. Jaden Daniels officially shut down for the season. He wasn't very happy about that. He put out a statement today that he really wants to play. You know, I think if your team was winning more games, you probably would have been in line to play. But it's good that they're protecting his health. I think we all agree on that. Washington, another home dog, 3 straight home dogs to start. Washington 6.5-point underdogs. I would only take Philly in a tease. I would not bet them here. I'm going to say Washington's in a cover. I think Mariota's been. Where do you put Mariota in your quarterback rankings? I'm saying top 20. Honestly, like he's been fine.
From the games that him and Jaden Daniels have both played this year,
They look the same.
Mariota's played a little bit better.
Yeah. So I'm going to take Washington to cover. I need to see the Eagles look good again. Like I don't care about how people play against Vegas. I really don't. I actually think we're looking at Vegas paying about 5 or 6 head coaches at once. And that's the funniest thing. Like they're going to be actually having Gruden, Pierce, Pete. They paid Chip Kelly like a head coach. He was getting $6 million a year. And it was on his first year of his deal. And there's somebody else in there that I'm forgetting. That was a head coach there during this time. So they're going to be in 4 or 5 head coaches plus Chip Kelly, and they have no pathway to being relevant. So I do not want to see a team. I do not care about how teams look against Vegas, including week 1 of the season. I don't care about any of that. I'm saying I'm going to take the Commanders to cover just based off of I need to see more out of the Eagles. So give me Commies plus 6.5. Greg?
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying about Philadelphia. They've been pretty inconsistent and pretty lackluster the last several weeks. Obviously, yeah, against the Raiders, not exactly a true test. But I will be going the other way here. I will be taking Philadelphia just under a touchdown. I think this is a game where they have to prove momentum. They have to prove that this machine still works. And as much as we've seen out of Washington the last couple of weeks, I think at this point with Jaden being shut down and, 2 or 3 games left in the season, I think you kind of start seeing maybe the players are just, playing out the string a little bit and booking their trips to Mexico and kind of looking forward to next season with their quarterback, that they want to start back in the saddle. And also getting to Gruden. If you're still paying Gruden, theoretically, could you get him back if he's still being paid as the coach? Can we get Gruden back? Can Tom Brady do that for the NFL? Because we need Gruden back. I love Gruden. I know he screwed up. I know he said some bad things in the emails. And you know what? I'll bet half the owners in this league. You think Jerry Jones hasn't sent some people some racist stuff? I bet you he has. I bet you he has.
I don't know.
I'll bet you he said some racist stuff in person. And
I think he was actually
I'm
out
not
on the
excusing
steps
that.
of the Brown versus Board of Education that in that situation. I think he was actually on the side of on the people that didn't want the schools to be integrated. But I'm going to say for Gruden, I agree he should be back in the league. I think it's okay that I think he's paid his fines. I don't think he really wants to coach anymore. I think he's good with the Barstool salary.
I think he would love to coach. I think he would love to be in the Monday Night Football booth again too, but that's not going to happen. But I watch breakdowns. I watch the breakdowns he does every week. He will go in depth on every single game. It's amazing. If you guys haven't seen these, he used to do them for Bet US. They're like an hour long. He goes into granular detail. It's incredible. It's actually like a masterclass in like breaking down the NFL and just how each team is going to approach everything. It's unbelievable. Highly recommend it. It's on YouTube. Not for the faint of heart. If you're not into football, you're not going to enjoy it. But anyways, Miss Gruden. But yeah, I'm taking Philadelphia minus 6.5. I don't excuse anything that Gruden said. There was some bad stuff, yada, yada, yada. Disclaimers later in the podcast. But Darren, what are you thinking?
This one is a tough one for me. I could genuinely see this game really going. I could see the Eagles coming out and looking horrendously bad yet again. I could also see the Commanders coming out and just completely rolling over and getting steamrolled. I'm gonna I'm gonna just pick the Commanders here. They're at home. I think that there's a chance that these teams do split, and if that's the case, I think that the Commanders are gonna get the one at home. Uh, it's hard because Philadelphia has looked horrible for the past, month or so, and then they play the Raiders, and they hang whatever 30 plus points on them. It's like, all right, are they fixed or they just play the Raiders? Which one is it? Because it feels like the Raiders aren't like a serious NFL team. Like they're horrendous across the. Didn't they have like 75 yards of offense? Is that correct? I'm pretty sure throughout the whole
That
game.
much? They had that much? That's awesome. Wow, good game by Pickett.
I'm almost certain that the Raiders had 75 yards of offense, which is that's almost hard to do in like an actual NFL setting to have 75 yards of total offense. Yep, they had 75 yards of total offense. So that they're not a serious football team. So I have to throw that game completely out when trying to evaluate teams. Is that the craziest thing that they beat the Patriots? Is that not the absolute craziest thing?
Glad you brought that up, Darren. Well,
how'd you guys do against the Broncos? How'd you guys do against the Panthers or the Browns? Did the Browns beat you guys, Darren? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm just saying that was not even Hey,
we just trying to
don't toss your team's insecurity off on me.
Livers? What are we doing? Why are we doing this right now?
No, I'm just saying that's like the craziest thing because the Raiders have since fell off an actual cliff, and the Patriots have lost 2 other games.
Well, Darren,
don't pass your team's insecurity on me. Don't.
Hey, Darren, you are assuming that he is going to accept that as just a mild observation rather than a personal attack. And
very personal. He knows what he's doing with that. My observation is this: today it's Gruden. 5 years from now, Sharon Moore. He deserves to be back in the league. Is what you're going to be saying, Greg. He's just an Italian. That's what you're going to see. He's an honorary Italian. That's the stuff that you're going to be saying.
I knew that this was going to come back at some point, and I didn't know it'd be that
Italian.
I didn't know it'd be that quickly, but yeah, that's fair.
Okay, we're on to Sunday. 2 of us are on the commies. You're on the Eagles, Greg. I think you're probably going to be right about this, Greg. This is more of a I was flipping coins. Darren's flipping coins, but yeah, maybe it's a close cover, backdoor cover for the Commanders there. Commies almost beat the Broncos a few weeks ago, so I'm not that far out of them. Moving into Sunday, the day games, the good games during the day, and then we'll talk about the primetime games. But one of the games of the day actually is the Chargers of the Cowboys, not a home dog. The Dallas Cowboys are favored against the Los Angeles Chargers by 2.5 points. I had to look at this a couple times to make sure I wasn't reading this wrong. I cannot believe that you have an opportunity here to bet on the Chargers as an underdog and also tease them up to 8.5. Play this game a whole bunch of ways. Dallas' playoff hopes they're still alive, actually. They're at less than 1%, but they are as good as dead after losing to the Vikings in the way that they did. Aubrey missed a few kicks. Unbelievable. I feel like that felt like I was in a fever dream watching him miss kicks. He could have thrown a touchdown, by the way, too. And he did complete a 4th down pass, but if he would have led the receiver, I played some football this week, Greg. I don't know if you saw, but I know how to play quarterback now. I'm basically a pro. Talk about Gruden. Anyways, the thing here is I'm going to take the Chargers because I think they're a better team. They have a good defense. The things that have killed the Cowboys this year is good defenses that know that can keep the score low. And Herbert loses big games, but he has nothing to worry about here because they're a playoff team. I don't think I guess they have the Colts on their ass, but I'm pretty confident that the Chargers are going to be able to win this like 21-17. This seems like a game where they're going to be able to bend and not break in the red zone or outside the red zone because Aubrey kicks 75-yard field goals, but it seems like they're going to get in the end zone a few more times. And yeah, just give me the Chargers. I can't believe they're underdogs. This feels like the incorrect line. It feels like they should be favored by 2.5. Greg?
Yeah, wrong team favored. That's all I can see when I look at it. There's a plus in front of the team that should be favored. And yeah, what's the motivation for Dallas at this point? I mean, is Pickens going to go out there and run like he actually cares about the routes this week. I mean, he barely cares when the game matters half the time. So I think Dallas is what they always have been and always will be, which is just an inconsistent team with inconsistent motivation. And the Chargers are very much in the playoff hunt. They are, fighting for seeding right now. And I think they've got the better defense by far. Quarterback wise, clearly we know the advantages with Dak Prescott, but I think that is, kind of negated by the lack of equal defenses here. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Chargers plus the 2.5. Darren, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I don't quite see why this line is where it's at. I know the Chargers played a close game against the Chiefs, who, I guess the Chiefs overall they're just really not that good of a football team this year. But is Minnesota a good football team? And they just beat the Cowboys. So I don't know. This line just really doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not quite sure. Vegas thinks Dallas is due to have another big game because it seems like they're a pretty on or off team, and that when they're rolling, they play actually pretty well. They can put up a lot of points, and that just hasn't been the case the past couple weeks. I don't know. There's a chance that they get it going, but that's not a chance that I'm really willing to bet on. So I'm going to take the Chargers here. I think that this is a game that they can win. It just feels like a game that, Dallas is going to come out and score 45 points and just boat race the Chargers.
That's what's going to happen. I mean, that's
gonna
clearly
make
what's
me-
going to
Yeah,
happen.
happening.
That's
You-
what's
you
going to
just saw
happen.
that. Speak of its existence, dude.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
gonna
going to happen.
happen.
Chargers will put up like 14, and the Cowboys will be unstoppable and put up like 52 and bankrupt the entire United States betting public. That's
think
what
I can
will
see
happen.
it.
everybody is going to bet the Chargers.
Yep.
Money line, spread, tease, everything. They're going to put
The
them.
tease,
100%.
the tease.
Everything.
This is the tease like that to lose.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is the thing where I don't know about anything else, but everybody's gonna put them in teases. I am not betting this game. This is the game I'm staying
Yeah.
away because I'm scared.
Too good to
It's
be
the
true.
easiest tease.
Too
Is the
good to be
easiest
true.
tease is the Chargers and the 49ers. Everybody's gonna do that. That's where you could actually put all your Christmas money on, and one of those teams is gonna screw it up. That's what
Mhm.
that they're not giving freebies out. They don't give freebies out in Vegas. Tampa Bay at Carolina. Both teams had chances to beat the Saints over the last 2 weeks. Both teams blew it. You start to think which team wants to be the 5 seed. It's starting to be. You don't even really want to be the 1 seed in the NFC. You want to be the 5 seed. You want to be the first loser of the NFC West. Probably is what's more beneficial. You want to play Tampa or Carolina in their house. And I know that's not actually what teams want. They want the bye, but both these
Is it
teams
though?
are.
Like-
It really depends on the road, right? Where are you going after that? Because you probably if it's Seattle,
Because
I think
if you're
Seattle
going-
wants home field. But yeah,
Yeah.
say your point.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying. Like I almost think that might genuinely be a easier path to the playoffs than if you're the 2 seed or any other higher. I guess the 1 seed, yeah, obviously you want to get the bye, but if you're going to be the 2 seed, do you want to have to play Chicago or the Lions in the first round? Like I don't know.
Well, the 1 seed's going to be an NFC West team, I think, right? It's going to be the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers. So, yeah. Basically, though, yeah, the 2 seed. I mean, would I rather be the 5 seed or the 6? Like, I would rather play the NFC South team. And then it's like, would you rather be the 1 seed and then you're going to have to play in the second round against, the lower seed of that? Yeah, I'd probably rather be the 5 seed over the 1 seed. It's a weird thing where, and what's going to happen though is that NFC South team is going to be pesky in the first round, and you don't want to lose that game because if you play a healthy Bucks team, who knows what can happen? I don't know. I'm just saying that these are the battle of the idiots, basically Tampa and Carolina, where Tyler Shuck. Remember, good guy Shuck. He's got it done the last 2 weeks in the funniest way. The way that he won, I had to go back and watch that again because they beat the Panthers on probably one of the worst calls in the history of football, where he slid for the penalty, and then they awarded him the penalty. I did not know that they won the game until we did this podcast last on Sunday night, because they had to kick a field goal. They gave him a 15-yard penalty at the end with time expiring, basically. An actual unbelievable thing the NFL did for the Saints and to screw the Panthers. Obviously, the Panthers player shouldn't have dived there, but it was the same thing. I'll never forget in the AFC Championship game long ago when the Chiefs, when Mahomes kind of flailed out of bounds, and they rewarded him with the hitting the defenseless quarterback or whatever. It's just a clear, like, he's wanting that penalty for it. It's okay. The defensive player has to be smarter there, but also, like, why are we rewarding this? It felt like that. And it's different because it's Mahomes versus Tyler Shuck getting this call. And Tyler Shuck is not Mahomes. I mean, let's be honest. He's fine, but I don't know what I have here. I'm going to take the underdog. I'm going to take the Panthers +3. That's what I'm going to do here. It's a home dog. I'm just going to take them because they're a home dog. I think these teams are pretty even. Baker is clearly hurt. I don't even know if he gives them the best chance to win with how he's been playing lately. The fact that they couldn't seal that game against Atlanta last Thursday just really gives me a bad taste. So give me the Panthers +3.
All
Right.
day, man. I'm joining you. Home dog, home divisional dog. Are you kidding me? +3. Carolina's looking feisty as hell. And the Buccaneers can't beat the Saints at home. I don't know what's going on with this team. The defense is completely falling apart. And, they are a bit older as a unit. I mean, they're not exactly fresh young talent on that squad. But Baker looks incomplete. He is definitely hurt. And isn't it funny though, like the overreactions we had in the first like 3 or 4 weeks were Baker MVP, and it's like, oh, it's Baker. Here we go. I don't know. I love Baker, but he has kind of regressed back to kind of what he has been more of his career than what he was at the beginning of the season. Anyways, this is easy. I think Carolina control the ball here. I think they've got a superior run attack here. Rico Dowdle out of nowhere has become like incredible. And he's kind of revitalized his career there under Canales. And same could be said for Bryce. I mean, I don't know what happens with him after this year, but he's certainly made a case to stick around, I think, for another year. And I don't think he's fantastic, but there's not a whole lot of great quarterbacks in the league right now for calling up, Grandpa Rivers to come in and play snaps. So, yeah, I'm taking the home divisional underdog for sure. And I got to imagine Darren is going to join us. He loves those divisional dogs. How can you stay away?
I do. I love the divisional dogs, and it's tough because I'm picking against the team that I was so high on going into the season. I absolutely love Tampa going into the season. I'm pretty sure I put them in my NFC Championship. I had my preseason MVP is Baker Mayfield. In the first like 4 weeks of the season, I was like, God, I know ball. And ever since then, it's just like it's dove off a cliff, and it's tough. So I'm on I'm on the Panthers here. I think that both of these teams, again, they're very, very similar. I'm with them. So I'm on Bryce Young. Little Bryce Young.
We're all Wakanda forever. We're on the Panthers. Rolling with the Panthers. Yeah, let's talk about another cat. The Jaguars and the Broncos. We've rode Trevor Lawrence off every which way this year at multiple times. I still am not sure if he's good or bad or ugly or handsome or whatever. The hair makes me think he's handsome. I'd like to see if he shaved it, if I'd still think that. I know in one of the TikToks we made, I put a bald picture of Trevor Lawrence as the background, and he did not look handsome, but if he was, I don't know, he doesn't look good bald, I'd say that much, but maybe a different haircut, he'd look good. What I would say, what this is very good. This is very good information.
No, I
I'm
love
giving.
this. I love this. Continue. Continue down
But
this.
he had the best game of his career by far last week against AAA NFL team in the Jets and Brady Cook. He was pretty much flawless, and I have an inkling that the Broncos' luck is going to run out. A lot of people are trying to force themselves into picking the Broncos. There's been a lot of talk about how this feels kind of Colin Kaepernick-ish with the 49ers in 2012, how that team was led by a good defense with pretty average quarterback play, and how they were able to make it to the Super Bowl. Of course, they lost to the Ravens in that game. But I think that even if it's that team like that, I would not talk myself into the Broncos like that, because I'm more of if you're telling me they have to win 3 straight playoff games, because I do think they're probably going to be the 1 seed at this point. I just don't see them being able to do that with, I guess 2 to get to the Super Bowl. I just don't see them being able to do it with Bo Nix the way that they've been able to win all these games, coming back from behind 10 multiple times, et cetera, et cetera. And what did you text? Well, that's a good text. I do not think Bo Nix is going to get blackballed from the NFL like Colin Kaepernick, although we will have to wait and see. That's a good point to make. We don't know what would have happened with Kaepernick, but I do think uh,
I just picture
there's
Bonet coming out with a political agenda.
I'm gonna assume it's gonna be if he did, it would be a little different than it'd be a little different than what Colin Kaepernick had to say, and it'd probably
I
be a
think
little
so
more
too.
nefarious. Onyx, is this the shortest name in the history of a professional athlete? I don't know. It seems like it might be 5 letters total. It's an annoying name. My point being here is I actually think they're bound to slip up here. I think there is a sort of Greg's favorite word, simpatico relationship going on between Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence, that they've kind of figured out each other in a way that has worked well since the middle of the season, where there was a lot of slip ups and faults, and they're running the ball a lot better. Getting Jacoby Myers actually has rejuvenated that offense. Travis Hunter is going to probably have to be a full-time cornerback in the NFL, because he did not look good on the offensive side of the ball. That's a terrible waste of a draft pick if that's what is the case. So I think they're going to try to force him as a wide receiver next season. But I think the Jacoby Myers and the Brian Thomas and the ETN and the Trevor Lawrence combination in the offense has been really good. And I think Liam Cohen is actually kind of a little Mensa over there. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars upsetting the Broncos. I just don't trust this Broncos team, and maybe I'm going to be wrong again, but I picked the Packers last week. I'm going to pick the Jaguars this week. I probably would have picked the Chiefs next week. I'm not going to do that now with Gardner Minshew, but I'm going to say I'm going to pick the Jaguars. I think they're hot, and I think they're doing well. And I think Trevor Lawrence is handsome. That's my verdict officially. I think he's a handsome man. Greg?
Okay. Yeah, I think he's handsome. I do think that he would find more success if he found a more manageable haircut. I feel like if he were to, I think we've said this before, if he like got a buzz cut or like something shorter, just more reasonable, I would bet all the money I have on him that week, just because I think there is a boost to the swagger that comes with, more of a military style cut. And,
A little high and tight for him.
yeah, high and tight. I mean, the NFL kind of is like the military, right? We have a draft, right? We prepare. The game is won in the trenches. There's a lot of military-like things that happen in the NFL, and military does not like long hair. That's all I will say. Anyways, I think both teams here, the Denver Broncos and the Jacksonville Jaguars, are kind of like lucky teams, right? Jacksonville has been on kind of a streak. Denver's been on an incredible luck streak. And the shoe has to drop for one of them in this luck matchup, right? So I'm going to go with Jacksonville's luck running out. I don't trust Trevor, and I do not trust Bo Nix very much either. But I'm going to take the home team at Mile High. I think there is still an advantage in that stadium. I don't like the 3 because Denver seems to always win it like by 1 or 2, barely. But I'll take the 3, I guess, because I think Denver's going to win this game. And I think Trevor's going to screw up big in this game. Like there will be like 1 pick 6 or something, and that'll be the difference. So that's what I'm betting on. And I'm probably the only one on Denver, and I accept that. Darren?
No, I'm joining you here on Denver. I don't necessarily love it either. These teams are 2 teams that I still just don't fully trust. I know on The last podcast, I had a little rant about Denver, and again, it wasn't coming from like a place of them like me being a hater since they beat the Packers, but I genuinely just felt like they had, uh, I genuinely felt like they had a very lucky break in terms of like turnovers and or the lack of turnovers from Bo Nix. There was multiple times throughout that game that there was dropped interceptions. I don't know if he's gonna, you know, if he's gonna give those same opportunities to Jacksonville. And frankly, I mean, I think that this Denver defense is the best unit that's gonna be on the field. So I'm gonna go with Denver here. I think Denver is gonna win. They're the one of the few teams that actually that have a genuine uh home field advantage, and they've you know been really good at home this year. So it's gonna be chilly.
What were you laughing at, Greg?
There was something on TikTok that was you sent a very, very funny text message that I will not share
You can
about.
share it. It was, I don't know who shared it though. It might have been Darren that texted that.
No, it was you.
What was it? Oh, was it
Um,
about Bo Nix getting like kicked out of the NFL? Is that the
no,
one
it
you're
was
talking-
if Bo Nix were to theoretically get gender reassignment surgery, they would now say he has no dicks.
That
And that was funny.
is funny.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good one.
It's
Good
a
job,
pretty
Darren.
good one.
I like that. I like that, Darren. That's a good joke.
It's a good one.
Wow, you guys are on the Broncos. I'm on an island with the poisonous cat, the Jaguars. Honestly, they keep dragging me back in on them. Each year it's going to be like this until Trevor Lawrence is on a different team. Bo Nix actually has a name of like a war general that commits crimes.
Yeah, no, he
Yeah.
he actually does from like the 1850s. Like he slaughtered like an entire
I don't know what
tribe.
that year, but yeah,
Yeah.
that time
And
period.
like there's probably a statue of him somewhere in Spokane that, people are picketing to take down because he was a bad guy. General Bo Nix.
Steelers at Lions. The Steelers continue to. I mean, Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. They're going to end up with 8 or 9 wins. It's in that zone every year. It's actually impossible for them to win less or more for the last decade and a half. I feel like my life would not be the same if the Steelers were great or terrible. Until they're great or terrible, my life is going to be in this like limbo. I think it's everybody's life. There's not much changing. Mike Tomlin is constant. This is the most constant thing there is in this world. Is Mike Tomlin's mediocre Steelers? They're doing it again. A lot of people are picking the Dolphins on Monday Night Football, and the Steelers just thrashed them, and it proves that things matter. And it's that Tua can't play in the cold, and the Steelers win on Monday Night Football under Mike Tomlin, and Aaron Rodgers also wins on Monday Night Football. I think the Steelers have won their last 22 home games on Monday Night Football or something like that. An actual stat that is unreal. They're playing the Lions. The Lions are 6.5-point favorites. Another team that is going to be teased by every single person. I think this one will hit because their weakness is their pass defense. Aaron Rodgers is not able to throw the football like he once did. Although he has tortured the Lions fans and Lions teams many times throughout his career. I'm going to say the Lions are going to kill the Steelers team. This is the type of team where the Lions are going to run the score up on. They're going to be able to score in the ballpark of 28 plus. And if they could score that many points, they're going to win this game by more than 6.5, because I don't think the Steelers can reach a number that is in that range. So give me the Lions here. That's my analysis on that. And I do think I will be putting some shekels on this one and teases and whatnot. Greg?
Yeah, this is super easy, this spot. Okay, you got Dan Campbell off a loss. A pretty important game for this team. You get Detroit Lions at home against a pretty subpar opponent, questionable defense. Their star player is out. Everything is lining up for this forecast to be heavy points for Detroit and a Pittsburgh Steelers offense that just cannot keep up. And all the points you made are correct. I think that the weakness on Detroit's side Aaron Rodgers is not going to be able to exploit, which is the cornerbacks. And that's just not a huge part of his game. He's much more of a shorter thrower at this point. He's not bombing it anymore. So yeah, I'm taking Detroit minus the 6.5. I think this will be over 7 by game time. So if you guys want to bet this, I would bet it now. If you're going to tease it, you still got some time, but um, it's nice to tease games that are at 6.5 because you just got to get the win. So you might as well do it now if you're going to do it. I think I want to be on this game. So Darren, joining us. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, I love the Lions in this spot. I think this might, or no, if it's not quite an elimination game for the Lions, I don't think. I think they can only afford one more loss because the Packers and the Bears both play. So they're very,
It's
very
basically
close.
an elimination game.
I was gonna say, it is essentially basically an elimination game because they would have, yeah. So this is a huge spot for them. Their backs are completely against the wall. I think that they are going to slaughter the Steelers here. This just feels like a classic spot where the Steelers may be getting a little bit more credit than what they should be based on, a Monday national a national game, a big primetime spot, and a lot of people watching like, oh wow, they look good, and it's like, well, they also just played against Tua in cold weather and this sorry Miami's team. Yeah, so I love the Lions on here. I'm on another sports book. It's already moved to 7, so I think it kind of depends on where you're looking, but I'd take this 6.5 in a heartbeat.
Well, damn.
If you're
Okay.
offering it, I'm taking it.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to do a little conversation about taking that soon. So let's hurry this up so we can get going. Uh, let's do. We got the Sunday night and Monday night games. We'll do those last. Okay, Buffalo at Cleveland. Uh, Buffalo is 10.5 point favorites. The look ahead line on this was 8.5 last week. The last week line looking into this, I actually bet that on a 3-team tease already multiple times. So I have them at -2.5, which is good value by me. But I bet that with 2 other teams that I thought I'd get good value on, and that's the 49ers and Patriots. Those lines did not move the way I thought they did, or I thought they would, which is crazy. So the only team I got any value on was the Bills. I'm happy about it. Shedeur Sanders is the worst quarterback in football by a wide margin, and he ranks out of all the quarterbacks or stats out there 44th out of 44th on every single metric outside of completion percentage. He is 43rd out of 44th. Good job, Shedeur. I'm going to keep betting against him as long as I can. The one game he looked even half decent in was against the Raiders. Again, the Raiders, we talked about, are they an NFL team? Don't think so. We should start treating the Browns as the Raiders, where it's 14.5 point spreads. They have a good defense. That defense does not matter against a team like the Bills and Josh Allen, to me. Josh Allen, this is a game where, he's gonna have 3 rushing touchdowns, maybe a passing touchdown too. So then they can add his passing stats in there. But I'm not trying to hate on Josh Allen here. He's not the MVP, folks. But I'm gonna give the Bills the easy cover here. This has 28-0 written all over it. What are you doing here? What are you doing? What's that stat? Yeah, you mentioned the stat when you talk about it. I'm gonna go Bills here. Greg.
This is an interesting game because this seems like a classic spot where Buffalo overlooks a little bit. It becomes a mucky game. The weather's probably going to be super gnarly. I don't know if you guys can look that up, but I think Cleveland this time of year is usually always rough. Not that Josh Allen's not accustomed to that and the rest of the Buffalo Bills, but I don't think it's going to be necessarily as easy a game as you have portrayed, Sterling. Cleveland has a way of really making other teams grind with their defense, and it's not pretty. But that said, I think Buffalo covers here. Whether it's pretty or not, I think the 10 is being a little too generous to Cleveland's ability to hang tight with Buffalo Bills. Buffalo is, trying to make an AFC championship game this year, and I don't think that they're going to be letting off the gas after their come from behind victory over the Pats last week. So, yeah, I'm taking Buffalo minus the 10. Darren, what do you got? I'm
Are you
sorry.
are you
Am I not even allowed to mention that, Sterling? Is it like
are you asking for a Michelob? What are you doing there?
what's going on? Am I not allowed to say what happened in real life, or is that?
I would like the appropriate reasoning for the come from behind win. I mean, I'd like you to mention the referees, please. That's part of the rule book here.
If it
Just make
comes
sure
down to
that.
the referees, you didn't play very well. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
Got
Yeah,
him.
tell that to the Seahawks, you know.
Well said. Well said.
Hey,
That's all I'm gonna say.
remind me of the 2005 Super Bowl. What happened there? Remember that?
I
Oh
was like
my
8 years
god,
old,
dude.
dude.
We blame. No, I'm not talking to you, Darren. I'm talking about to Greg,
Okay,
who everybody blames
Sterling.
the Steelers and the refs in that game. Nobody ever says the Steelers deserve that Super
I'm
Bowl.
driving over to your house right now, Sterling. I know how to get in. You
And
just
good
hang.
luck. I got dual protection and guns. Darren,
Yeah, I'm on Buffalo here. They're better
cramping,
almost across the board.
cramping.
For those listening, Sterling's flexing his arms right now. His little 6 shooting 22s.
And Greg's getting in his Lamborghini Gallardo or whatever, and he's driving over here right now.
No,
His Fiat.
the the only thing that the Browns really have going for them is that Myles Garrett's going to break the sack record, which is pretty cool. It's going to be kind of an awkward celebration depending on when during the game he breaks it, and obviously it's a fantastic milestone for him, but I just feel like this is something that could really be it feels a little dampened because it's not like he's on a good team or playing any type of really important games. Yeah, it's awesome. You beat the sack record and you have a 4-win team and you're getting blown out by 25 points and it's like, woohoo, get the record. It's still fantastic. No, I think Josh Allen's good. Kill these guys. Definitely should be in the MVP conversation. 100%, dude. He's so good.
I think he is third now. I think the guy that was third last week. Who was the guy that was in third place last week in the MVP conversation? Betting odds.
That's Jordan Love.
Where'd he slip to now? Is he even on the book? Can you bet him? Is he even
No.
Oh.
No, if these committees took a real deep dive at actual statistics and actual analytics, they would see that Jordan Love is number one in EPA per play and PFF grades.
Is that right?
Yeah.
He is? Okay. I didn't know that.
It's awesome. Should have beat the Broncos. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, we should have.
If you have all these advanced stats, you should beat the Broncos.
They definitely should have. I agree with you.
Okay. Anyway, we're all on the Bills. We'll go through these next ones quick. Kansas City at Tennessee. Kansas City's 3.5-point favorites. I know this is a stinker. I'm gonna go with Tennessee at 3.5. I think Minshew. Yeah, I know. I think they're gonna cover this game, and I don't know why Kansas City is gonna play their players. I think that you want to lose to get draft picks at this point. So give me Tennessee to cover. Greg, I want to know what you're picking in this game, and I want to know your thoughts on the Mahomes injury because Darren and I gave our extensive thoughts on Sunday, and we haven't heard from you. So take your time and explain what you think.
Well, my favorite, not that there's a favorite moment, of seeing MVP level player get injured like that, but when it happened live, the first thing I got on my phone was a text message from you saying another fake Mahomes injury, and I was like, oh my god. I was just like, I don't know, Sterling, that looks actually pretty bad this time. I think he's actually hurt.
Well,
But
I forgot about that.
yeah, no, it's too bad. I mean, I know we're not huge fans of the guy necessarily, but he is an incredible player, and it will be unfortunate to see him have to rehab from that and hopefully come back and get to the level where he's been all his career. So I know we all wish him nothing but the best in his recovery, and hopefully he's able to get back in sometime mid-season. It looks like for next year. I don't know. Is that about right? Mid-season?
He's playing week 1.
You think so?
He's gonna play week 1.
You think
Yeah,
so?
I would bet week 1. I would say this next season over under win loss for Kansas City 9.5 is what I'd set it at, and I don't know if that's what it is, but that's where I would lean towards.
Yeah, I would take the under on that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a 2-year injury. But yeah.
Well, and I think there's just going to be a lot of upheaval on that team. I mean, beyond Kelsey, I don't know that that's necessarily a huge loss. It is a loss though. And then I think you're going to see a couple other players just kind of bail out and see if what they can get in free agency somewhere else. But to the game at hand, I think I'm actually going to take the Chiefs here. I don't have a whole lot of reasoning here other than I think Tennessee is just so awful that I can't take them. And I could see Minshew. What's great about him is when he does come in, it's the Super Bowl for him every time. So you know you're going to get a full effort out of him. He's a you know, all in kind of guy, and he'll give you three of the best games that he has, and then it'll be awful after that. But I think they only have 3 games left on the season for those guys, so he'll be perfect. But yeah, I'm going to take the 3 and the hook and Kansas City. Darren?
Yeah. Minshew's a spark plug. You plug him in, it's like he's gonna let it rip. Minshew mania. I'm all in. Give me the Chiefs here. I think that there's still a more talented roster from top to bottom than Tennessee.
Yeah. Okay, you guys are both on the Chiefs. First of all, I thought Mahomes wasn't hurt that bad. I did not think it would be an ACL. I thought it would, at worst, would be like a dislocated knee, and they were going to lose the game. So I was hopeful it wasn't a serious injury. I did say I did send the text. I'm not going to act like I didn't send the text. I was very upset because the Patriots just blew a 21-0 lead against the referees and the Buffalo Bills. So I was already upset, but I'm hopeful he gets back to 100% because honestly, the quickness in which my hate left the Mahomes train right onto Josh life. It's like Batman kills the Joker, now the Riddler's great. So, okay, Josh Allen, you're now public enemy number 1. Jets Saints. Anybody want to talk about this for 45 minutes?
Yeah.
The Saints are 4.5-point favorites. I think Tyrod Taylor's back. I don't think it matters. If it's Brady Cook, if it's Tyrod Taylor, I want Justin Fields. I'm gonna go Saints. Tyler Shuck is a baller. He's earned himself another season starting here. They're not gonna take a QB. There's not enough QBs to take in this draft. They'll take 1 3rd or 4th round. It'll be a wasted pick. Tyler Shuck gets the next season starting. We're going to talk about the Saints getting the first pick in the next year's draft. So give me the Saints 4.5-point favorites here, and they will cover that, I think.
Yeah, I 100%. Tyler Shuck has been kind of a revelation. We've been talking about mediocre quarterback play. This guy came out of nowhere and has looked really solid. I mean, he's serviceable. And I'm excited to see where his career progresses to. I think that they're going to completely outmatch the New York Jets. New York Jets have already packed it in for the year, clearly. And I think New Orleans is still playing for their identity here. They're playing for their new coach and Kellen Moore, who I think has put together some decent plans for these kids the last few weeks. So I am excited to see what happens in New Orleans. I think you got to get Kamara out of there. I think he's just kind of dead weight at this point. I know he said he won't be traded. That's fine. That's fine. But, you're not going to be here. So
You'll be cut.
you're going to be cut. And, I know they're kind of in cap hell in New Orleans. So that's not kind of what you want to do, but he's been pretty mediocre the last 2 years. But you know what? A great antidote to being in cap hell is having a cheap quarterback like Tyler Shuck to build around. And I think this is a guy that they can, start to put some pieces around and see what happens. And so I'm going to take New Orleans minus 4.5. Darren?
Yeah. I'm on them as well. You know what I'd like to see the Jets do at quarterback? The Colts calling up old man Philip Rivers. What about Mark Sanchez? What's he up to these days?
He's unemployed. He could use it. So am I. Can I get that job?
No, I don't know. I don't have much to say about this team. I don't really watch much of the Saints or the Jets. I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. Not non-ball watcher over here.
Seems like you've been saying you haven't been watching a lot of football lately. Is what you've been saying.
Yeah,
a
you
lot
know
more.
what? I'm locked in on the Packers. I'll be honest. I'm
Ooh.
locked in on them. This was supposed to be the year. I've been really locked in.
Opposed to. That's what they say about Justin Herbert a lot. The what if quarterback. Gonna get transferred on to your guys. Falcons Vikings Giants. Actually, Giants are 2.5-point underdogs against the Vikings, and this is also a line that makes absolutely no sense. Vikings 2.5 point favorites. I think their defense has sneakily become one of the better defenses in football over the last month of the season. JJ McCarthy played really well against the Cowboys, outside of the first pass of the game, which was funny. And why are the Giants? Why would they try to win this game? Also, I talked to Darren earlier today, and I couldn't find the stat, but it's something crazy that Jackson Dart has gone to the medical tent almost every game he's played. And again, he hasn't gone out every game, but he's gone to the tent every game, which that is not great. They have to erect that tent. They're making these people put that thing up just for him to go in, maybe get a concussion. He needs to not take so many hits, so he shouldn't play anymore. They should bring Winston back, let him play the rest of the season, have some fun. And by the way, what's Eli Manning doing? We're talking about old quarterbacks. Dante Culpepper? Can we get a Culpepper Manning game? I know that's what the people want. How about Christian Ponder?
Yeah.
Who was that one Vikings quarterback that started the playoff game because Ponder got hurt? Do you remember this?
Keenum? Or no, this is way before that.
He started like 3 games in his career, and one was a playoff game, and it did not go well. It was like Ward or something was his last name.
This is a trivia question, man.
Yeah, I'm going to look this up, but I'm going to let you go, Greg, on this. I'm going to go Vikings here. This is a very weird line.
Yeah, I'm quick on this. This is Vikes minus 2.5. I think New York Giants, like you said, would be smart to just stop playing football at some point and get into the draft lottery and do whatever you're going to do with that. Yeah, Vikes. Darren?
Yeah, I'm on the Vikings here as well. I don't fully understand this line.
It was Joe Webb in 2012. Wow. Their quarterback the entire year was Christian Ponder, and he couldn't start in the playoff game, so Joe Webb took over. That's crazy. Yeah, so okay. I was close. I said Ward. Same number of letters. Same starting letter. Damn.
Close.
Falcons, Cardinals. Cardinals are 2.5 point underdogs against the Falcons. They're definitely going to fire their head coach, correct? It just feels like it's over for them. And they're also going to be looking for a QB. I think there's going to be some moving chairs. It might be Kyler Murray for Tua. I don't know if that's a bad thing. I think Tua would be actually okay in that division because of all the indoor games and stuff like that. No cold outdoor December games in the division, but neither here nor there. I'm going to take the Cardinals to win this. I think Jacoby can get a game right here against the Falcons. That Falcons team won their last game that they cared about, and that was against the Bucks to maybe thwart their season until Carolina dropped that game against the Saints. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go with the Cardinals getting this one done. They're plus 2.5 too, so I got a little bit of some points here.
Right? Yeah, I'm right there with you. I like the home dog here. I think Arizona's shown a lot of fight with Jacoby, and there's more passing efficiency now with Jacoby than I think I've seen with Kyler Murray in the entirety of his career. Like there's I don't know why that is. I don't know how that is, but it is. And it's fun to see. I mean, Trey McBride is putting up monster numbers. Michael Wilson, the most generic sounding guy of all time, is having a great year. Still haven't seen a whole lot out of Marvin Harrison, but he's been kind of injured. I don't know if he's even going to play in this one. But yeah, I'm taking the home underdog here. I think that Atlanta is one of the most inconsistent teams I've seen this year. They can be great, they can be horrible. And it seems to go week to week. So this is the week that they're horrible again, and I'm taking Arizona. Darren?
Yeah, I'm on the Cardinals here. I think that Jacoby can get one.
Yep. All three of us on the Cards. Yeah, Jacoby's doing the thing where he's like making the tight end the focal point.
Yeah.
That's he's the best backup quarterback in football doing that. You bring up the backup, he finds the tight end. McBride. Wow.
Hey, if you're going to do it, McBride's the guy. I mean, why wouldn't you? He's incredible.
Yeah. He actually seems also like an awesome guy too. I've seen like a lot of videos of him on like just meeting with fans. Some of the videos he met with these German fans who just wanted to drink a beer with him before the game. They're like, drink a beer. And he said, I'll get one after the game. I don't think he got a beer with him after the game because they got blown out, but he wanted to chug.
That's cool.
Raiders, Texans 14.5 point favorites. I'm thinking of actually all lining this to 28.5 as well, because this seems like this line seems too low. I'm going Texans. This defense is so insane. I don't have anything else to say. Texans should win this game by 3 or 4 touchdowns. I don't know if the Raiders are going to move the ball. Genty has been one of the biggest disappointments in recent fantasy memory and draft memory and everything. I don't know what you do with this team going into next year. So I'm going to go Texans. This is a can we please finish the season type team for the Raiders. Greg.
Well, in defense of Ashton Jetty, I don't know that anybody could run very well behind the offensive line there in Las Vegas. They are, I think, the worst unit in the entire league. So we'll hold off my opinion of Genty until he's able to maybe have a couple more talented, tackles and guards in front of him to run behind, because they are awful. And that team, it's just, you can't run when you have no threat of pass, and there's just been no threat there all year. I mean, except there was definitely some threat of pass in the Patriots game, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm going to take Houston minus 14. Darren, what do you got?
Yeah. No, I think Houston might score more points than Vegas gets total yards of offense. I mean, if Philly held them to 75, what's Houston's defense going to do? Actually, like I
Negative
don't know.
yardage.
Negative
Yeah.
18.
So
funny.
I don't know. This game is so mismatched. You could make this spread again. I don't know what the number. This is one of those games that, like, what's the cutoff? I honestly don't know what it would be, but
It's like James Madison and Oregon. This should be the
yeah,
same spread as that.
yeah, actually. So I'm on Houston here.
Yeah, Cincinnati at Dolphins. The Dolphins are 2.5-point underdogs against Cincinnati. This is a weird line as well. Nobody cares about this. The Miami Dolphins are officially eliminated. I think this is a game that shouldn't even count because I think the Dolphins are going to start Zach Wilson in this game. I mean, the fact that is that Mike McDaniel was talking about quarterback changes. Somebody asked him about it. He's like, everything's on the table. That tells me I think Tua's not starting because you would usually commit to your quarterback at that point. This is good for the Patriots, by the way, because that means they match up one more time this year, and that means they're probably going to be playing Zach Wilson in the last week of the season. So the division looks very, very more reasonable to win after losing that game against the Bills and the Zebras last week. In all seriousness, though, I think you had to pick the Bengals here just out of default if they're going to start Zach Wilson, because Zach Wilson is not an NFL quarterback. Joe Burrow doesn't look much like an NFL quarterback lately either, though. So this is kind of a nervous pick here. I'm not betting this. If you bet this, this is the hotline type game where you need to call. And if it's more than like a $2 bet, if you're just betting $1 every game, fine. But be careful, Bengals.
What's the spread, Sterling?
Bengals are 2.5-point favorites right now.
Bengals are 2.5. Oh, geez. Yeah, I'll take the Bengals. I don't know. I feel like they're going to have a little bit of a bounce back. I think Joe wants out of Cincinnati. I think that's the consensus. We'll see what happens there. I think that's probably the best spot for him for the time being, but he's clearly disgruntled. But I could see him having a prove-it game here against a pretty mediocre defense. Yeah, I'll take the Bengals. Darren, what do you got?
I'm gonna take the Dolphins here. I don't really know why. I don't have much. I genuinely don't have much rhyme or reason for it. I think that a lot of the Bengals players are probably pretty mentally checked out of the season. I think that it's probably the same thing on this Miami team. Also, I don't. It's hard because it's how locked in are these guys? Like, genuinely, is Jamar Chase and T Higgins and Joe Burrow, are those guys gonna show up excited, ready to play? Is Tua going to start? What's the situation for these teams? And it's just so much is up in the air. I'm just gonna take the home team with a couple extra points. Maybe Burrow and T Higgins and Jamar Chase will go out on the town in Miami and enjoy themselves and show up violently hungover. Who knows?
Some people have their best performances hungover. You know that?
Yeah, that's true.
I've had some of my best gambling days hungover. Also, I wish you would have given a rhyme and a reason for why you're picking the Dolphins there. I wish you would have rhymed the Dolphins with something, and then I wish you would have given a good reason. It would have been better than saying not having a rhyme or reason. Sunday Night Football, my New England Patriots coming off the first loss in, like, I don't know, 3 months. It felt like it was forever. I forgot what losing felt like. But they lost, and I lost a lot of bets. So I remember what losing felt like pretty quickly on last Sunday. Felt good. I felt alive for the first time in a while. You don't really feel alive winning, and you feel like it's fake life. So yeah, I can tell you this: my beautiful girlfriend did not feel alive. She did not enjoy my reactions to that game or the fact that I was mortgaging my future and going into credit card debt. The just kidding. I
Mm.
I also need to make it clear I did not sell my plane ticket to my mother who asked about that at the beginning
Mm.
of the podcast. I did not sell my plane ticket to California. Um, the Patriots are 2.5 point underdogs at Baltimore.
Mm.
This was the look ahead line as well, and this line's been climbing up to 3. They're plus money at 2.5. So it's going to probably close at 3. I think part of the I think a lot of people think the Ravens still have some juice in them, and that's okay. I am not part of that conglomerate. Even if it wasn't against the Patriots, it could have been against basically anybody. I just don't like this Ravens team, and I'm not going to make much of a case for the Patriots. It's more of a case against the Ravens. I think if they're playing any good team, I don't know how you could pick the Ravens with how they've been playing this entire season outside of week 1. Week 1 was their peak. They lost that game. Uh, but that was the peak of their season where they looked good. Lamar was moving well, and ever since then it's been downhill. And even though they've won some games, um, the beauty is, and this is if you're wanting to get into the weeds of conspiracy stuff, is if the Steelers lose their game and the Ravens win this game, next week doesn't mean anything for either of the teams. So they could rest their starters, and then week 18, that'll be the Sunday night football game. Winner gets in the playoffs because they play each other week 18. That's if you want to get into conspiracy territory because we all think the Steelers are going to lose to the Lions. The Ravens, if they win this game, you play a winner gets in week 18, right? That's where it gets a little nasty. But and believe me, I'm going to be saying that if the Patriots lose this game. But I'm saying in a genuine sense, I do believe that the Patriots are a much better football team. The snap reactions of them losing a 21-point lead, uh, where they were dominating that game. They ran for 170 yards in the first half or something like that against the Bills. I just think it's nonsense where we get into just half reactions after one half of football. Like we've seen, we're in December, we're about to be in Christmas, it's about to be January. We've watched a full season so far of these teams. We know what these teams are, and I think New England's a much better football team than Baltimore. So I'm going to take New England at plus 2.5 and not minus 2.5, and I think they're going to win the game outright. And I think that's the better side to be on here. So give me New England. Greg, what say you?
This is really one of the harder games for me to figure out which edge to be on. I know that it's been, pretty easy to bet on New England all year. They've been incredibly solid. And even last week, they looked like a absolute truck until the second half started. And they, kind of let up on the gas a little bit. I'm going to go against my better judgment here. And I'm going to take I think, weaker team and go with Baltimore minus 2.5. The real basis for this is the idea that Derrick Henry is going to be getting going. And if they can kind of control the game through him and do one of those old school Baltimore Ravens where it's like 60% run, 40% pass, and maybe, just maybe, Lamar is able to actually run again and have some escapability, they could be a dangerous out here. And I think they're getting overlooked a little bit. I'm surprised to see them favored, especially by as much as 2.5. But I think this could be a tricky game for New England. And yeah, so I'm going to take Baltimore.
I'll give you a rhyme and a reason. Lamar is fat, and he's been playing like scat. The Patriots, they're by far the better team. This Ravens team, who have they beat like all year? I don't know. I don't understand how this team can be favored. They have not beat anybody. They beat the Bengals, who are essentially been eliminated, and Joe Burrow doesn't even want to play quarterback for that team anymore. I don't get it. Why all of a sudden the switch? I get it's a primetime game. It's a night game in Baltimore, and that's historically been a really hard place to play. But Drake May looks so poised throughout all the games he's played. I know he hasn't had a lot of big moment games with the schedule that they've had this year, but I think that this is a opportunity for him to step up to the challenge and kind of assert himself as like, yeah, I am I am one of these dudes, and I think that this Patriots team is 100% up to that challenge. So I'm on the Patriots here. This line feels backwards to me. There's a couple of those this week that they just feel wrong to me. Probably going to end up missing on all of them, and Vegas always knows. So it is what it is. But this is one that I can't wrap my head around.
Well, let's hope you don't miss on this one, because I will actually have to sell a plane ticket if you miss on this one. I think I might go heavy on this. There's a few games I want to go big on, but I would say you could be very well right, Greg. And Darren, you could be right. And Darren and I could be right, but it's.
They're saying there's a 50-50 chance that one of
I
us
would
is
say
right.
there's a higher likelihood that we're right. I think in a non-biased way. It's hard not to be biased because it's my team.
You know what I will say, and I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, just interject. I talk.
This
way
is
too
just
much
more
on
of a
this.
general, just a general idea, and I want to see if you guys ever have this feeling where there's always one game where you start watching the lineup on Sunday, and like this team that you kind of had a feeling about just is blowing the doors off of the other team that you thought was going to lose, and you never bet that game. Do you guys ever have those like thoughts during the season?
For sure.
And like, what game would that be this week that you're probably not going to bet, but you like are certain you'll see it and you'd be like, God, why did I bet that? For me, it's Houston. Like that's 14 and you're like, that's too big, but we know they're going to beat the doors off of the Raiders, right? 14 is still pretty steep, and it's just hard to get over that mental hurdle of like they're so much better and they're so much more motivated. But I don't know.
I mean, there's like 4 or 5 of them that I actually think. I think Buffalo's gonna score 3 times as many points as Cleveland. That's a bad weather game, and Shador's shown that he can't play in the cold weather.
True.
I do think Houston. I think you could set that to 28, and I think I'd be fine taking Houston. And that's where you should definitely be betting Houston at 14.5 and just bankroll that. I do actually believe that this game, New England, I do not see a path in which Baltimore can really just take it to them. So that's a game where I'd be confident betting New England pretty heavy. And then I think the 49, we're going to talk about it in a sec, the 49ers. Again, Phillip Rivers, that's cool. That's a great football. So I'm saying you could do it like that. We're going to talk about that game in just a sec. But those are the 4 where I kind of see this week I'm pretty confident. I was very confident last week, and that's the first week I've lost good money, right? I felt really good about last week too. So who knows? But yeah, I agree. Like, I felt really good about the Jaguars last week. All I had them in was parlays and teases. And I won the 13-point tease I had them in. That was really nice. That saved my life and my gambling week, kind of. But that was it. I didn't bet them separately. I should have. Brady Cook. What are we doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see about this Patriots team. I'm confident in them. I'm not going to let one bad half of football dictate my opinions on who the MVP should be and who the best team in the AFC, the hierarchy of the AFC. It's like people don't remember they beat the Bills earlier this year. I know it was a long time ago, but that started this streak. So let's come to like our senses here, of what the team is. 2.5's okay. The Ravens are a good team, but I'm still surprised. 49ers Colts Monday Night Football. The last game before Christmas. And I said this earlier, this will decide how good Christmas is for everyone, for this podcast, even for everybody that listens to it. The giveaway would be maybe a goal stream if the Colts are able to cover the 6.5. I don't know what we're going to give away. It'll be a nice one. I'm on the Colts. I don't know if you could tell by that little preamble there. I think this is where we see a 44-year-old quarterback actually look his age, who is not named Tom Brady at 44, because he actually looked really good when he played at 44. Again, that doesn't make any sense.
Are you on the Colts or are you on the 49ers?
I'm on the 49ers.
You just said you're on the Colts.
Yeah, you just said I'm
on the 49ers.
I'm sorry, we have to take your first answer, Sterling. So Sterling's on the Colts.
I was like, wait,
hedge out of this. I want to be on every side.
How you're going to go all...
Yeah, I was confused too. I was like, this is weird.
Sorry,
He's like
I'm on the 49ers.
crapping all over the Colts.
I'm on the 49ers. I think the 49ers are going to watch that Seahawks tape and say, wow, this guy actually can't throw the ball 20 yards. And they're going to play in a much more aggressive style where they're going to blitz a lot. They're going to play single high safety. They're not going to be putting too high against Phillip Rivers like the Seahawks played most of the game in. I
Yeah.
don't know what they were doing, like you didn't either, Greg. It made no sense. Phillip Rivers, for what it's worth, and I just want to say this, I watched a lot of highlights of that game afterwards after we did the podcast, Darren. Phillip Rivers actually is cerebral, and it's a lot of young quarterbacks are clearly unable to dissect a defense any way that a quarterback like Rivers or players from that generation are able to do. He would look at a defense and he could tell what defense they were in. He just doesn't have the arm anymore. That's why he kind of had to retire when he did. But he would see how a safety or a linebacker would be disguised, and if he drops out, he would make that throw because he'd know that the linebacker would have to turn his hips to make a play. It's quarterbacks don't read defenses anymore. It's more so they're going through reads with their eyes and their legs at the same time, and that's kind of an epidemic in the quarterback play and why it's so bad nowadays. Phillip Rivers has a brain; he's good at that. I don't think that matters when you're going to have blitzers rushing at you. I think they just need to not disguise and just blitz. Play man, play up close, make him beat you with his arm. I think the 49ers will do that. I think they're going to win this game easily. Greg,
Yeah, I think it's is it -6 that we got him at?
6.5.
6.5. Okay. Yeah, I think the Niners have two advantages. One, you get to see, okay, what is Phillip Rivers at this point in time as a 45-year-old quarterback, which is fairly limited. You know, he can still pass, decent 5 or 10 yards, but that's about it. And that's a huge advantage for this defense to plan around, because we really didn't know what we were going to see. Okay, we didn't know if he still could, chuck it a decent amount or not. Clearly not. The arm is cooked. But to your point, Sterling, he is very, very smart at seeing what is happening, and he is not going to get taken advantage of. There's not going to be an easy pick, every single quarter from him. And I think that San Francisco is going to come into this much more well prepared and much more motivated to get ahead of what the Colts can do, which is run the ball very effectively behind that really great offensive line. So either way, I think San Francisco is going to come in here and, just offensively overpower them. And yeah, I'll take them under a touchdown all day, Darren.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I think that Saleh's going to have extremely aggressive man-to-man defense, or a really aggressive underneath zone that they're just going to sit on these short slants and outs and underneath drag routes, all that kind of stuff that, Phillip Rivers can just kind of dink and dunk the ball down the field. I think that they're going to try to jump all of those routes and make him go over the top while simultaneously blitzing. Yeah, against other quarterbacks, you might leave yourself a little exposed on some of the back end, but I think the 49ers, I mean, the Seahawks, I think, have the same, skill guys on the outside as well. They just didn't really seem to do it based on what you guys are saying. Yeah, you can leave these guys in, one-on-one positions and man-to-man coverage and trust that, the ball may not be put where it needs to be. You have a free safety just sitting in the back and, in the back end ball hawking, and let your pass rushers go to work. Just blitz him, play ultra aggressive, and see what he can do. And if he beats you over the top a couple times, it's not like this 49ers offense can't go down the field and score themselves. So I think that that's got to be the game plan going out, and I think that it will be successful. I'm on the 49ers here.
Yep. Okay. We're all on the 49ers. And you get them at a 7-point discount of what you got the Seahawks in the last game, which I think is just, that's insane. I would say, the Colts were able to control that game against the Seahawks. I think the 49ers need to just bring the business to them and not allow that. Because if you do, you could get upset. That's literally what the Seahawks almost allowed to happen. So 49 Shanahan needs to be more foot on the gas, pedal to the metal. Let's take control of this game, because the Colts are kind of limited in how many points they can put up with a quarterback that actually doesn't have an arm or legs. Because it's not like Justin Fields, who is very sporadic with accuracy, but he can run and he can make big plays with his legs. You have an accurate quarterback that can't throw deep and he can't move. You got a game plan there, I think. I'm not a head coach. Let's go. 49ers Pats tease is my bet of the week. A big, beautiful bet. Put that in multiple times. That's my bet. I'm not going to say anything else besides that. Greg?
Are we teasing at 130 or
Yeah,
120?
unfortunately, that's the line
130.
we get. 130. Yeah.
Jeez. What is that? Are you doing FanDuel? Is that what you're getting 130 on?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, that's expensive.
I know.
Um,
Not happy with it. Vandal, be
well,
better.
even out at the Tribe, I think they went up to 130, didn't they?
No,
It's
125.
125 still. Okay. My book does 120, but they're in another country. So let's see here. I'm gonna do. Darren, why don't you go? I need a moment to think, unless you
Yeah.
need.
I am going to go over 43.5 in the Vikings Giants game.
Interesting.
I think that Jackson Dart is able to score some points with that offense, and I think that JJ McCarthy, as people better know him, has been commanding the offense a lot better, and they've been scoring. So I'm gonna take the over in that one. I guess
Not
the
bad.
only that I guess I didn't really check is the weather. Oh, the weather will be fine. It's gonna be sunny, 50 degrees. Come on, give me the over. We love an over in some December football.
Absolutely. Okay, so getting back to that prior conversation we had about the bet that we didn't take that we knew would hit, I'm going to go with one of the ones that feels that way for me. Houston minus 14. This is simple. This is easy. This is good. They are a really good defense. Las Vegas is awful. And I feel like the Houston D could put up 2 touchdowns on their own, and they're not going to give up 2 touchdowns. So that math is easy. To all our listeners out there, bet everything you have. Houston minus 14.
Don't be responsible with that one. Be as irresponsible as you want.
It's as
I
easy
like
as
that advice.
Seahawks minus 13.5, man. That's it.
I heard somebody call it an ABCD bet or something like that.
What does
I
that mean?
just butchered it. I don't even want to draw it. I should cut that out. That was disgusting.
What
I
is an
just did.
ABCDE bet?
It's an ABC bet or something. I don't know. I'm not going to do this. It's terrible. I just
Oh,
butchered it 3
okay.
times. I've done it. Basically, it was like the better team. It's an easy bet. All this. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't need EPA, CPOE. It's like you
Oh,
don't need
okay.
any of that. The team's better. It's like that. So,
I got you.
anywho, yeah, we are good with all these bets. The best bets are in. Good luck gambling, everybody. We'll be back Sunday night. We're going to be back next week before Christmas. How about college football bowl games? You guys got any leans on that? I know you've been betting college basketball, Greg. You're doing Montucket State and what? And
Dude, I'm betting the grimiest games there are. Like Wofford was who I bet yesterday.
that's a good
Yeah,
bet.
Siena is always fun. Fairfield. Watching these grimy games, we had Friday night at my house was really hilarious because I had Eastern Washington on versus Cal Baptist. Had some money on Cal Baptist because Eastern Washington's horrible this year. Yeah, I'm betting the grimiest basketball of all time. I'm on the UC San Diego Tritons. They're not grimy. They're actually a good team.
Wow.
I
Does your wife know about this?
She's not a fan of this because she knows that this extends the degeneracy in our household well into like April now. And so she thought it was over in February, but now I've found a new thing. So yeah.
You got a new king, huh?
Yeah, new king.
College football, just real quick. We're not going to talk about. I mean, we could talk about Old Dominion in South Florida. They play tomorrow at 2 p.m. West Coast time. If you want to talk that game, bowl game. We got bowl game season. But Alabama, Oklahoma. This is the final part we're going to do. Alabama is a 1.5 point favorite against Oklahoma. It's not a college football podcast, but Oklahoma beat them earlier this year. I think. I just want to. A little rematch. I kind of like Oklahoma there. Alabama has more talent, but Oklahoma has a good defense. And I'm just gonna go. I don't know if you guys want to give any input on these. I'm just gonna say my takes, unless you guys want to say anything. You have anything, Greg or Darren?
My only thing is Alabama shouldn't be in the tourney, so I'm automatically taking out Oklahoma. So Darren, what do you think?
Yeah, I didn't even realize that they played on Friday night. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot.
Rumors swirling DeBoer might actually leave from Michigan job too. By the way,
Is that
I
like a
been
heard about
rumor? Is
confirmed.
that.
that serious rumor or is that fake?
No, there's rumors that he might leave. It hasn't been announced or anything yet. There has been talk about Nick Saban potentially coaching this team in the college football playoff. Obviously, if it hasn't happened yet, it's not going to happen. I don't think because it's 2 days
He should
away.
do it on Thursday
That would be cool. And
or
then I
Friday
think,
morning on the way to the game.
well, if Nick Saban came and coached this team, I'd pick Alabama off the principle of it all, right? I don't think he needs time with the players.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think the players
How
want to play for DeBoer or Nick Saban? Let's be serious. Well, I mean, I guess Bill Belichick didn't do that well in North Carolina, so who knows? Miami against Texas A&M. Texas A&M -3.5. Miami sucks. I'm going Texas A&M.
I
That's
agree.
my take on that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be in the tournament either.
Yeah,
Greg?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I'll trust you on that.
And then Saturday we got Ole Miss, 17.5-point favorite against Tulane in a rematch where they beat the Green Wave by about 30 points or 35 points in the first matchup. So you're getting half off on a Lane Kiffin-less Ole Miss. I'm going Tulane.
Yeah, there's been a lot of drama for Ole Miss. I don't know. We'll see. I'm nervous. Like, how many of the players actually really? I guess I'm sure the players still want to win, but like, do you think? I've never been in a locker room like that where, or like around players. Like, do you think they genuinely believe that like they actually have a chance at winning the national championship? Like, like genuinely. Like, do you
Which
think Ole
team, Ole Miss or Tulane or both?
Well, I guess I mean Ole Miss. I guess they probably did before Lane Kiffin left and stuff. But like, do you think now that like their head coach has abandoned them, do you think they still have like that same kind of unwavering faith in their own program?
Well, the quarterback himself has talked about transferring to LSU. Maybe what's he supposed to do? Is he going to play? He's playing, but it's like, what's he doing?
Yeah,
So I
that's what
mean,
I'm saying.
is
And
he going to give it up?
Tulane, I know Tulane probably knows they don't have any real shot at winning a national championship, but they have a real shot at making a crazy upset against a team that's head coachless.
And
So
their players also don't get the opportunity to transfer to an SEC school.
yes, that is also the other
They
big
have a
piece
lot
of
more to
this.
play for. This actually means something a lot more to them. They don't get $1 million NIL deals. So I'm going to go Tulane. Honestly, I'm going Oregon to beat James Madison by over 21.5. That is a 21.5 spread on Saturday night. It's in Oregon Stadium. Winter break has started there. Doesn't really matter. Oregon has their head coach. I think they're like a top 5 school in the country, and I think James Madison should not be anywhere near this tournament. Tulane at least is they're a little better, but yeah, Oregon, and that's it. Those are my 4 bowl games. Greg, I know
What's up?
you wanted to end this 30 minutes ago. You're sleepy.
Yeah, no, it's all
Dinner
good.
time for Italians, huh?
Dude, yeah, it's time for the Getty, dude. Gotta get that Getty.
You got a 3-hour preparation for dinner, actually.
Yeah, it takes a while. You know, we got the red wine going, but that only fills your belly for so long. But
You got to bet on some college basketball. There's some hoops going pretty soon.
no, I got UC San Diego on the phone right now. They're it was interesting about I know you guys don't care about college basketball, let alone these tier 3 teams, but
Oh, first half, 3 minutes and 13 seconds to go. UC San Diego's 2.5 live. What'd you get them at?
I got them at 3. And what was fun was I was watching that line drop all day. It went from 3, it went to 2, it went to like all the way down to 1. And I'm like, oh, great. This is fantastic. This was before the game started, but yeah, they're the much better team. They should win by margin, whether it's 3 or 2 or 1, but we shall see. College basketball can be exciting.
You know, there was a time period where Darren and I were just doing money line hockey parlays.
Hey, that's not a bad way to go.
Yeah, Money Puck, one of the greatest sites in the history of mankind.
Yeah.
But it let me down too many times in a row where back
What
in the
is-
old days, you had to carry a sack of cash into a dark alley.
What
and
is Money
exchange it.
Puck? I have no familiarity with it.
It's just an analytic hockey site that says chance to win.
Okay.
And so you just put 70% chance to win teams together and
Okay.
you get plus money on it. It's a very good site. And it's like chance to make playoffs. It's actually a very good, it's basically the EPA, or it's basically Pro Football Focus of hockey, but it's
Okay.
free. And I don't even know who runs it. It's a random guy or guys that run it. It's a great site. Hey, I don't want you getting any other fetishes though.
No,
So I don't
hockey
want your
has
liking
already
to.
left the station. I don't know any of the rules. I enjoy watching it live, but I have
Neither does Darren. He gambled on it.
I know, but I have no idea what's going on. If I lose my money, I want to know like how dumb of a bet I made, and I be figuring that out with hockey because it's
That's how I
all
feel about cricket or rugby. I'd stay away.
yeah, those are all foreign to me too. But hockey is a very popular sport. I just obviously never played it, never got into it, and I know most hockey fans have probably never played it, but um, anyways, it's a fun sport. I like watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay, fellas, we are gonna say sayonara, hasta luego to all the beautiful listeners out there. We will be back Sunday night. Darren and I will be. Greg, you're all also invited Sunday nights if you'd like to join.
I
We
didn't
will
know I
not
was
be recording.
invited.
Yeah, of course you are. Of
I don't
course,
know.
yeah. Well, it depends. Depends on if the Patriots win that game or not, because I don't know if I can deal with your ass if they lose.
Oh God.
But we will be recording that one after the game, not during the game, because again, too many edits will need to be had if it is close. If it's a blowout in the second half and they maintain the blowout into the third quarter and into the fourth, we will start during the game. But yes. Anyways, maybe I'll invite you over, Greg, for that game.
That'd be
Again,
fun.
dependent on some things. You better be respectful.
Hey, I'm always respectful, and to be honest, I will root against my bet. I want the Pats to win that game. I'm not a huge fan of the Ravens. They've lost me more money than any team in the NFL. So
Yeah, they have lost me actually more money than any other
Yeah.
team that I've ever bet on or against.
they're horrible.
I should hate them more than I hate any other team. I should hate them more than the Chiefs.
You should. They're complete tricksters. The minute you start believing in them, the bottom falls out. The minute the bottom falls out and you bet against them, they show up and cover, and it's awful abusive relationship I've had with that team.
Yeah. Same. Anyways, everybody have a good rest of your day. Tomorrow, the day after, everything like that this weekend is a sports fiesta. A lot of great games Friday, Saturday, Sunday, of course. And remember, we love you all except for chiropractors. And I guess that's it. We don't really hate anybody else. But Darren had some choice words for chiropractors before we went on this. And so did Greg, actually.
Well, my main gripe with chiropractors, can you guys come up with a way to say what you do that is pronounceable? Chiropractor? Really? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's not an Italian word.
No.
Okay. Have a good one, everybody.
All right. See you guys.